Welcome, everybody, to this Xbox Life episode 376. We love you, Xbox. I am one of your hosts, Brun BJ Swick 33, and along with me are the two wonderful hosts that I love so much this Valentine's Day. Will you guys please be my Valentines? Rob, also known as Presar,
Hey, what's up, bro?
and
Hi, everybody.
and Mark Wingman 709.
Hello, everybody.
So, how's everybody doing on Valentine's
Super fantastico.
Day? Good. Everything's going great. I take it.
Yes, how about yourself?
Oh, it's fantastic. So I got the game,
Excellent.
got to play some games this weekend, which I'm excited about, and that's about it. So I hung out with the wife and the family. So, but all right, we were out last week. It was Super Bowl weekend. If anybody missed it, spoiler alert: the Broncos won. And other than that, all I did was play some games, and there was some new stuff that hit, and we have some stuff to talk about. So, kind of worked out in our
Sure
favor.
did.
We have things to talk about this week. So, but all right, we'll get started. So, before we talk about what we've been playing, we are live every Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after The Walking Dead. So, after you watch The Walking Dead, you come and watch me look like I'm dead, and
That
do
that depends.
why?
Depends because on the Pacific, it hasn't even started yet.
Oh, really?
It doesn't even start for another hour and 45 minutes out here in the Pacific Coast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
It's
crazy.
only like 7 o'clock, so some of
Oh,
you've seen it. It hasn't even aired here yet.
yeah. Well, this week, this is what happened. Okay, so
Yeah,
it started.
Lee's a zombie. We know.
Lisa
Just
Zombie.
yeah, just move on.
Lisa's helped me move on. So, all right. So, all right. Let's get to it. Rob, over the last couple weeks, what did you play?
A couple of things. I've been playing some more of the Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, and this past week, the Russia one just came out. So I'll definitely be picking that one up. They're pretty decent little games, especially for $10. And if you haven't picked up any of them, there's the Chronicles, which is all three, which is the first one, which was China, and then India, and then Russia. And I did start the trial for Unraveled, because that came out this week. I was kind of anticipating a game that was somewhere along the lines of, I really wanted it to be along the lines of like Max Curse of the Brotherhood. And what I mean by that is basically that it was kind of different and a really enjoyable experience. It's definitely different. Mm, I'm going to have to give it some more time, but I'm glad that there's a trial at least. But
Right.
the game looks gorgeous. I mean, it looks amazing. They did such a great job with the graphics on that thing. And then I've also been going back to Mirror's Edge. So I want to get the original game finished off before Mirror's Edge Catalyst comes out, and it's going to be out soon.
Yeah,
So that's about it for me.
they got a beta coming up, if I remember correctly. You can sign up for Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. So hopefully I'll get in on it.
Cool.
And everybody else,
Yeah. Yep.
not just
Yeah, but y'all really, you just care about yourself on that one. Mark's just nodding up and down, yes.
hmm
So,
me.
So
Mark,
rude.
yeah. Mark, what have you been doing past couple weeks?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to. I'm going to throw a plug out there for somebody, and that's probably why he had me on his show. That way, he could get another plug in on our
Oh,
show.
is
But
this going to be a horribly awkward time moment that you're going to be saying?
this will be a horribly awkward plug, yeah. So last week we didn't do a show, but I actually did a show with our good buddy Imes, Mr. Sean Fuller, who has started up his own show of the Horribly Awkward podcast. It's very different. The stuff that man, the people he gets, it's just he just talks with all sorts of different people.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a really it's like you said. Well, what is this podcast about? I I'd say it's about life.
Yep.
Because people share things that really are about things that they've done in their lives and things that they've
This is
overcome
podcast
and all
about-
kinds of weird stuff.
I'd say
And
it's
it was
about-
weird.
Sorry, that's my fault.
And I was telling him, I said, dude, there, you know, some of the people he's had on
Things
have
that
just had
they've-
amazing
their lives
stories.
and things.
I keep hearing myself.
Yes, it's freaking Twitch. When you show the preview, it starts the sound automatically now. Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know why they change things like that, because it just screws everything up when I try something.
Just to irritate you.
Yeah, I know.
But
Okay, so go
anyways,
ahead.
So I had a good time talking with him, and so you can check that out if you're interested. So, but definitely it's horribly awkward. So that's what I did last week. Now, as for games, I'm gonna go back a couple weeks. I did play XCOM 2 on the PC. It has not been a good experience. This has reminded me of why I don't play PC games, because
What
PC
happened?
games suck. Because crap doesn't work. Put it that way. I am so used to just installing a game and hitting play and it actually work on a console. That's really what drove me to the 360 so many years ago. I got so fed up with PC games that just, driver installs and crap never works with your video card or your audio, or you always got to buy new hardware to play every game that comes out. It sucks. There's so many issues with it. And it's interesting. I was listening to another podcast this week as I was doing some traveling, and there's been reports of performance issues on very high-end machines with this game. Like, people that blow out what's required to have are still having issues with this game. So yeah, it's I don't get no audio. I get audio, but like not when it tells you, like, there's this little like icon that pops up of this little dude talking, like when you're doing a mission. I don't get that audio, so I never know what the mission's about or what I'm supposed to do. I can't hear any of that. I get all the cutscene audio and all that stuff works. It's choppy. The game default installed to like max resolution. Well, I've got like the minimum required video card, which is ridiculous because I've got like, it's the first time I've ever had dual video cards with a gig of RAM, and it's barely able to run this game. I'm just like, this is insane that this massive video card can't run an RTS, a real-time strategy game. I mean, it's like, this is XCOM. This isn't freaking the next Doom game, This isn't, it's XCOM.
Like a Far Cry or one of those that are just graphically intense.
I know. And it just so, and I couldn't even get like the mouse to it. The first time I tried to play it, it wouldn't even launch. It was just a black screen. I had to crash out of it. I went back in it. Finally, I was able to get a title screen. And then it was just, everything was stuttering and super slow. I finally was able to get like the options, and I went into the videos and I turned it down, and I was able to, and immediately it made it, I went to medium. I could still see a little stutter, but I could move my mouse around and stuff would work a little better. So I did the auto detect settings, and it turned everything off, put it at the lowest setting. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's like, why did I pay $75 for this?
It sounds to me like they like way went off the track when it comes to like knowing what the market is and who's going to have what. Because we talked to each other about the minimum requirement, because you're asking me like, do you think this should be able to run this? I'm like, well, you're meeting the minimum requirements, so yes, it should be able to run it. Now, of course, you're not going to be running at high or
right.
You're either going to be low to medium settings most likely.
But I didn't expect the audio not to play.
Yeah, so
like part of the audio, it's like it's
huge.
not even. It's like I've gone in. There's like no audio settings. It's like lower. It's the normal standard. So it's like if I'm hearing audio in the game, I should hear it all. I'm
Right.
not hearing all of it. Parts of it don't play, which doesn't make any sense. And then the video, I get the graphics. I can tone it down, but just to launch the game for a game to default to max settings, I was like, what the hell were they doing? I'm like, that is insanely stupid of a developer to do that on a PC game, because then it's like my initial impression was the dang thing doesn't even work.
right.
And it was a pain in the butt to get it to cut it down just so I could get the thing to launch. I mean, it's like, this is why I don't even do PC games. This is why I was so hesitant about it. But I'm like, oh, I want XCOM, and they're not bringing it to the consoles for some reason, even though they did the last two, and they were awesome. They decided we're going to do PC only, and it's just ridiculous. So I haven't even gone back to it, and I love XCOM, and I haven't even gone back to play it because I'm so frustrated with it. And yeah, it's ridiculous. So if anybody out there, if you don't have the best, if you don't have what they require, you probably don't even want to bother with it. And just know there are issues with it, no matter what kind of rig you have. The game is super freaking hard. I've heard other people on this other show, they said, yes, that seems to be the consensus, that the game is overly hard. It's just, yeah, that which is seems to be the norm for XCOM. They just make every time. So everybody's having to run it on easy just to actually freaking play the thing. So yeah, it's yeah, I'm going to just stick with consoles, man. Screw Steam, screw PC gaming.
Hold on, time out. So what you don't like about PC gaming is that the hardware changes all the time and you have to kind of keep up with that. Because like even myself, like the hardware I have is 2 years old. So I mean, you know, it's going to be, you know, I own a copy for Star Citizen, right? And everybody knows that Star Citizen is going to like push everything to the max. Now, when that game releases, I know that if I really want to play it, I'm going to have to buy a new graphics card. Like I know I'm going to have to. But you know, to me, it sounds like the XCOM group completely just haven't optimized their game at all. Because to me, their game won't even run on console. Consoles would never be able to play XCOM 2, based on what you're saying.
It doesn't. If it's done, it doesn't have to be this magical graphical super thing. It's XCOM. It looked great on the 360. I played both games. I had a great time. It doesn't. You know, I get so tired of this. Oh, it's got to be this. We got to push the visuals. Push the visuals. The visuals don't make the game fun.
No, exactly. True. I agree.
It has to be fun. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Look at stuff like that's in the indie market, you know, and these indie games that are like 16-bit video games that people are going nuts on. Minecraft proves you don't have to have top-end graphics for a game to be popular. I still don't know why that one's popular because it's not even fun, but you know, people find it fun. Okay, I don't, but people find it fun. That's why it's such a huge hit. So XCOM is a fun game. Why they said we're gonna push this into like a freaking Doom game or something that's like pushing graphical visuals on a game is retarded, and it's a real-time strategy. Move this guy here. I shouldn't have. I'm sitting here, click this guy, move him over here, and I watch him go doot, 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 doot. Okay, how freaking hard is that? My 360 can do it. Why can't my computer run it? You know what I mean? And my computer has a heck of a lot more power than my 360. The 360 had 512 meg of memory. I got 8 gig of memory with a gig alone to the video card, and it can't run this game. It's just, it's unbelievable. These developers are that freaking bad, because it is. I'm not a dev, and I know, Braun, don't take offense. I know you are a dev, but it's frustrating when someone. But not everybody's gonna have the $5,000 computer from Alienware, you know, that's gonna run it.
Right.
And when you set it up, you default install so that, assuming everyone has the $5,000 computer, so it crashes and breaks and you can't even get it to launch. How is that? That's screwing over your customers.
Right.
And they're going to give you the big bird. I mean, I'm so freaking irritated over it.
And that's what I'm saying. I think they well overlook of, like, they didn't look at, like, what are the majority of the graphics cards owned by customers, this and that. Like, what really sold well. Like, you know, the 700 series sold well of NVIDIA. The 900 seems to be selling okay. You know, like I think mine's I have a 760. I have a 760 is what I have. And it's like that those series sold well, and then they went and sold, did something else. Not everybody else has everybody in the country, and everybody that owns a PC has a Titan Black or Titan X and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's what I mean. It's like they didn't look and say, "Oh, where are the majority of graphics cards?" Instead of like, "Hey, let's go try to make the highest visual game ever." And yeah, I agree with you. Like graphics don't sell games to me either. Like I don't have to have the most graphical game. Like when it comes to Battlefield 4 on the PC, I run that in medium settings because I want faster response. I don't care what the textures on the wall looks like. But the problem is it's going the same way in the console. People talk about how inferior the Xbox is. It's because the PS4 has better graphics. It runs at 1080p. It does this. I mean, we've argued this over and over and over. Just like, oh, with all the, got to have all the P's. Like we joke about it, but that's where everybody thinks a better game is on. PS4 has better games because they're 1080. When it's just not true. I mean, that's just not true, and it's not true in the PC world either. But it's crazy that in the PC gaming world you do have to somewhat keep up, I guess, if you want to play all these graphical tight games or whatever. But I know when I built my computer, I was like, the graphics card I have is going to be a 3 to 4 year graphics card.
Yeah.
If games come
Well,
out that
it's
require a better graphics card, I'm sorry, you're not going to get my
right.
money because
And
I'm not dropping $600 for a graphics card.
if they would have defaulted the install to like the medium, then and I was getting a little chop, but it was working, it would
Yeah.
launch and work. Then I'd be like, well, okay, I better not. Or even if I moved it up and all of a sudden it just bombed, okay, I know I can't do that. But to put it where it's unusable at the start ticks me off.
Yeah,
It
that's
just
weird.
it ruined the whole thing. And then with the audio not working, it's like I have no idea what I'm doing. It's ruined my. I don't even want to go back and play. I do because I know I was listening to these guys talk about it the other day when I was driving on the road for doing some work coming back home, and I'm like, man, I just they were talking about these different things you can do in the game, but at the same time they're like these guys are on high end rigs
Right.
and they're having performance issues.
See, and that makes
It's
me
like
think.
and it's like and they're saying this is like across the board report of what they're hearing back, and it's just like I guess it was probably Reddit. A lot of
Right.
people are. Is
Mhm.
it Reddit? No, not Reddit. Not Reddit. What's that freaking forum? The real popular one with industry people.
NeoGAF?
NeoGAF. I think that's where they were talking about where it was in NeoGAF. Everyone was talking about it. So they didn't state. They kind of were kind of going around of where they were hearing all the conversation. I would gathering it was NeoGAF, but
Sounds to me like
so yeah.
they need to patch and do some optimization.
Oh yeah, they do.
Like,
They
big
do.
time.
And I'm kind of just. I think I'm gonna hold off but I wanted to play this before the Division came out because once the Division comes out, I'll probably never come back to this. So, but
be
I
buried.
don't know. But
Yeah.
anyways, I didn't. This isn't about PC gaming. I did play XCOM 2, so just I can't. I'm just gonna give that warning to people. If you're gonna get this, if you're not on the top end, be careful. It will default to those high end settings. You're gonna have to take your time, be patient, wait for your cursor to eventually go and select the video options and crank that sucker down so that you can get it to move. And you may not have half the audio in the game like myself. So, or maybe
one
that's
thing
unique to my system, but it's weird. I hear some audio and not other. It just doesn't make any sense. Usually
one
it's
thing-
none, nothing, all or nothing.
One thing I just don't understand is like XCOM, the original one, it came out 22 years ago. 22.
Yeah.
And Microprose was able to do something with the game and make it run in DOS and whatever Windows version was it.
On a 386 DX250.
I mean, I don't
But I
think we
can't
even
run
had-
it on a freaking quad core 8 gig of RAM system.
So I think that was actually because it came out in 94.
Yeah.
So that was before even Windows 95. So this would have been on DOS, Windows 3.1, probably DOS, I'm guessing. And
Yeah, I
it
remember-
ran.
Yeah, it came out. I remember playing it on my Windows 95 system.
So you probably got it after.
Yeah.
'Cause there's a couple of them, I think, just one after another.
Yeah.
It's just
So
Let's see, 94, 95, 97, 98, 99.
yeah, it's unfortunate because I even watched some of it like on Twitch, and I really don't see where the big graphics are coming from.
Yeah.
So I really think it's
It-
optimization. It's almost like they didn't do well. I
Well,
mean,
it does look like if you do get to watch it, if you can see it in nice you can see there's a lot of detail.
mm,
But the one of the biggest problems in this game too is like if you want to put your soldier into a building, it's like it's almost impossible to get them to into a building onto a different floor. It doesn't work right. They've got so many problems with that. That again, that's like an issue, a known issue too. But anyways, I really don't want to sit here and talk
go.
XCOM all
All right.
night. I know people can't listen to Xbox stuff, and I don't want to get too sidetracked. But there's a little rant for everybody in case you missed them. I did play some Rainbow Six Siege. I did get my 2,500 terrorist hunt kills achievement. Woohoo! So
Good.
I've been playing a lot of T Hunt. I love T Hunt. I do enjoy the multiplayer. I like the T Hunt a lot better. I don't know. It's just I'd rather get in with some friends and play that.
Mhm.
But the multiplayer is still good too. The new map is really cool. It's large. If you haven't seen the new map, it is free. Also, just because I don't think we're going to talk about this later, but the if you are not a season pass holder and you have Rainbow Six Siege, you're going to find out that the new characters are super expensive. I guess it's like 25,000 renown
Ooh.
to unlock. Yeah, to unlock one of them. So it's insane. So if you love the game and you just can't see putting that much money into it, you could buy the season pass and you get the characters automatically. You don't have to pay for them.
See that there
But
is like, to me,
yeah, they're
that's a dirty move to me, because I mean,
yeah, and I already know people that have bought the season pass specifically because it was so much renown to get them that they've dropped the what $30 for the season pass.
yeah, to me,
And I'm like, yeah, this is kind of dirty dev right here. It's I hate even supporting these guys like that.
right.
It's so frustrating, but the game is so good. But you know, yeah,
All the DLC? Somebody's asking a question in the stream here. Party Up Live asks, are all the maps going to be free?
Yes,
All DLC for the game is free. That's why, back months ago we were talking about the season pass for Siege was kind of like a big ripoff, because it was like, well, you get a boost on renown, you get like a pack or something, but then you got all the people unlocked automatically. You don't have to pay renown for them, but we didn't know how much they were going to be. Now obviously now you go and look, and 25,000 a character, that's dirty. That's a dirty move. That's like, well, you're going to buy this if you really want those characters, you're buying the season pass. You're not going to grind that out. That's ridiculous.
yeah.
So,
And think about it. By the time you get one, then you got to grind out another 25,000 renown to get the second one. Well, then by the time you do that, you're gonna be probably well into the next release of the next characters,
right.
and then the next characters, and yeah. So if you want to play them, yeah, season pass will give them to you.
Yeah, that seems dirty.
Yeah, I agree.
That's games. That's like the EA thing where I'd always be like, oh, I would play hockey or Tiger Woods, and it was like, oh, you want the best clubs? Well, you can either buy it with in-game money, or you can pay $5. Well, to play the in-game money, to get like a hockey stick or whatever, you had to play 475 hockey games. It's just like, well, so just tell me to pay $5, because that's what you're doing to me.
Yeah.
So.
So I also played Qbert, which came out Friday. It's the original Qbert arcade game, as well as like a rebooted version. It's cute. It's hard because of the controllers. The control, it's all diagonal, so it's just like the real game.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
super hard. I keep dying because I'm accidentally jumping off the pyramid and I don't mean to. So the controls
little
suck
guy
just like
swears
the
at
real
you.
game. Yeah. So, but Qbert, it was only like $6 or something. So yeah, I figured, what the heck. And then I actually got back into today. Dude, I've been on my Xbox all day playing one game all day, Just Cause 3. And so I'm getting back into that, trying to kind of grind my way through that. That game is fun. It has its moments where I absolutely love it. I love the destruction and everything you can do, but man, sometimes it's just so frustrating. The controls and the there's 800 helicopters all blowing, shooting at you at once, or it's just like. But I've been playing that today, so that kind of wraps up what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. How about you, Brun?
Well, game came out, Firewatch. Uh, we've mentioned it before. It's PC and PS4, but you're real quick on PC gaming. So it was $17 on Steam. It's like a 3 to 4 hour game. It's like a storyteller stuff. Like I streamed it and stuff. I liked it. The ending's kind of soft, but you'd have to play to understand what I'm talking about. But so I played and beat Firewatch. My goal this week was to play Diablo. So every week I've been kind of going back to these other games that I just haven't played in a while. I did Battlefield 4 a couple weeks ago, then Halo last week, which then turned into Battlefield 4. And then this week was going to be Diablo 3, which turned into Battlefield 4. see this thing
pattern.
going on here. Yeah, there's a little pattern going on here. I wouldn't have played Battlefield 4 if it wasn't for Double XP weekend. But Brentley was on there, Armistice was on there. It's just that game just keeps sucking me back in, but I have a good time playing it.
And that was Armistice, not Artemis.
Yeah, Armistice.
He made a point of telling me that in the party.
Yes, yeah, and you were having party issues too. We heard you every time you were in there. We heard you cussing out your Xbox.
Stupid Xbox.
We love you, Xbox. Happy Valentine's Day. But other than that, I did the Unraveled demo as well. Cute game. Not for me. It's just one of those things. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I played. I think that's about it. So, but yeah, that's it. Mainly Firewatch and Battlefield 4. I still want to. Okay, so I still want to do the Diablo 3. I really want to go back to that game. But I want to find people that's been playing it. So I know people playing it on PC and I know people playing it on Xbox. If anybody in the community wants to play it on Xbox, let me know. I'll play it there. If not, then I'll jump over and play it on PC. But if there's other people that want to play it or get back into it, let me know. And we can group up this weekend or this week, whenever we're on and play. So
I forgot to mention, I did try that Unraveled
okay.
because of the EA trial.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
I guess you can beat the whole game in the trial. I guess the game's about 6 hours long, and EA gives you 10 hours.
Only
The
first
EA
two levels.
They
access?
limit you.
Yeah,
first two levels.
Oh, okay. But I did try it, and I will say that the game is, oh my gosh, it is beautiful.
Yeah, yep.
It was stunning. I mean, it
Yeah.
was probably the most beautiful game I have yet to see on the Xbox One. It kind of reminded me of Max, with just in the visual when I first saw it. I was like, wow, this is beautiful. But the game is simply not for me. I
Yeah.
tried it. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
No. When I struggled that much just in the demo or the level they gave you, the first one, I was like, no, I don't want to do this. It's just I don't have the patience for it. It's one of those things that I'd have to end up looking up. How do I get through this level and seeing someone else show me the moves because I just don't have the patience. But absolutely, probably the most beautiful game on the console. So
Yep. Was really good. All right then. Round table time. We got a couple new quick hit news and then a little bit of a discussion here. But before we do, we got patreon.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, go to patreon.com/thisxboxlife. And then we also, if you'd like to tip the show, you like me so much, it's Valentine's Day, you want to throw me a couple $1,000, you can go to twitchalerts.com/donate/thisxboxlife. So, I had jotted down a couple, and I see you guys actually added some as well. Things for the round table. The first thing I wanted to hit was the whole February update that may be coming out soon. I think that everybody's going to get. it seems that they're going to have an Avatar store because they're bringing back the avatars. That was I know that was kind of the thing on there. But what I wanted to make sure that was put on there was that Xbox Live Gold members are eligible for a free week of EA Access Vault beginning today throughout. Why is this like a really old story? Never mind. Well,
Wah, wah, wah.
yeah. It's a top story on IGN. You open it up, it's from January 19th.
Yeah, well, yeah, with the February update, which everybody should have by now, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I've gotten it yet.
I did notice I just got a new update on the 12th, and
Yeah,
I
so
now
did I.
have the ability to actually move my tiles around individually.
That works nice, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay.
I'm really glad to finally have
Oh, yeah.
that.
So it's not just the move to front. You can.
No, you
No.
can move it wherever you want.
Okay, then I'll have to see if I've gotten it yet because last
That-
time I have, it's always been the move to front. But the Avatar
Yeah,
store is supposedly coming back. But
That was on the 12th, so the Avatar store might be in part of that. Because it was weird. It's like the whole February update, the preview members, when we got, it's like everything they said is coming in the February actually wasn't in the original February preview update. They've done like it in a couple updates. It took a couple to get all the pieces. Because I had that February update, but the move thing wasn't there. I was like, well,
Right.
where is this? And then there was another, I can't remember what it was. There was another feature that they hadn't implemented yet either that they are supposedly is now in there. But I think at this point everybody should have it. But I'm a preview member. I just got it on the 12th, so maybe it's going to be the end of February before it rolls out to everybody.
yeah, and this is really weird because I'm a preview member as well, and I haven't gotten anything. My last update was in January.
Well, you better go get your update then.
Yeah, I'll have to see if
Yeah.
go force it or something. But every time I do the
Yeah,
check, it's like, no new update.
'Cause usually they force it on you after a couple of days, right? Don't they?
I don't know. Yeah, I'll check after the show.
Yeah.
But other than that, Division open beta starting on the 17th, I believe. Wednesday, going through the weekend or whatever. It's open to everybody. It's the same thing we've seen before. They're adding one more mission, and they got a bunch of fixes and updates and stuff in there. This one here, I've heard if you go in and you do the beta, and you even if you just sign in or whatever, then you can go to Ubisoft's little rewards thing or whatever, and you can get something for the release of the real game for being a beta tester. Other than that, I think that's the only thing I'm gonna do. I'm not playing it again until the game's out. So it's the same thing. I can't do something 3 times in a row and then have to do it a 4th time for real. So
But you know what, Brun? I would encourage, and I've thought the same thing. I was kind of like, I'm not going to do this, but let me say this to
Okay.
all those that have already played this twice. I highly encourage you to put a few hours in and redo it again when it comes out, because this is our chance for everybody to get in and slam the crap out of these servers and let them know what it's going to be like on day one. So if all the beta people stay out, I mean, they're probably still going to have a good number of people trying it, but I'd say the more the better. Let's freaking crash these suckers so they can go, oops, we better put some more in before the beginning of the month, because this is it. Because when Siege came out, everything worked great until open beta right before launch.
right.
And then everything was crashing. And then all of a sudden the login issues. And then those actually were still there during launch day. So I would encourage everyone, go and do it anyways and see what happens. That's just my thought. The more people out there that hit it, the better they're going to be prepared for day one.
So basically what you're saying is the people should be actual testers as opposed to I'm playing a free game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
I know that's new to some people out there.
But staying on betas, I had a little bit of fun with the Hitman group and their beta this weekend. And actually, I think I threw Imes off a little bit. he's just like, wait, Hitman's not coming to the Xbox One? I'm like, yes, it is, because I put out a tweet. I'm like, it's a shame that Hitman only really cares about PlayStation. Like, that's all they care about during their beta. Like, let me put that in air quotes there. You know, the Hitman beta, it's an exclusive to the Xbox or to PlayStation 4. Like, how do you call that a beta if you're leaving out PC or leaving out Xbox One? You're just saying it's not a beta. It's just, why don't you just call it exclusive early access or whatever? But
That's
I
just an
kind of
exclusive demo, yeah.
a demo or whatever, yeah, however you want to call it. But I kind of tweeted out there. I'm just like, oh, it's a shame that they only really care about one group of people. I was actually kind of looking forward to possibly buying the game, but I guess I'm not going to now, just because I know one of our listeners doesn't like when I call out and say we're second-rate gamers. But at this time, it's like I do. I feel like it's like, oh no, you're not you're not included in the beta. You don't have the right console, So I kind of put that out there, and they actually tweeted back. They're like, oh no, it comes out for PC, at PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on this day. And I just wanted to be like, I know. I'm just saying that because all you care about is PlayStation 4. But yeah, the Hitman beta was out over the weekend, and it is coming to all 3 platforms. But yeah, I was having a little fun. So if people do follow me on Twitter, you might have seen that, and I didn't mean to mislead anybody. So I wanted to clear that up. So all right, Quantum Break. A couple things. It's out April 5th. It's coming out on Xbox One and PC. If you buy Quantum Break, you get Alan Wake included. If you do the pre-order, you get American Nightmare included. And like I said, and if you pre-order, you get it on the PC for free. So it's like a cross-buy type of scenario thing here. Did you see the whole uproar and like what Phil Spencer tweeted to that one guy over the week? Because
that guy needs to be shot.
I'm just reaching through. I'm just like, for one, it's still a console exclusive, because now we have exclusive. Okay, we have exclusive. That means only one place, only one thing. Hitman beta exclusive to PlayStation 4. You have timed exclusives like Rise of the Tomb Raider, timed exclusive on Xbox One, coming to PC and PS4 a year later, or PC in the beginning of the year, whatever it is, whatever their timed exclusive is. And then you have console exclusive, because you can't call something exclusive if it comes out on the PC. So if it comes out on one console and not the other, it's called a console exclusive. I just think that's the way you should say things. Of course, when people are marketing, they're going to try to seem like it only comes out in one place, because that's where they want you to go buy it. That's where the marketing's come from.
Yeah, but what the thing is, though, with this is the first time that we're going to have the ability of cross play. See, this is actually
cool.
huge, dude. This is not, oh, well, buy it on Xbox and get a free copy on the PC. Okay, it's more than that. What this is, yeah, you get it on both platforms. So you start out day one, you're playing for an hour on your Xbox, and then guess what? The wife wants to come and watch TV, or the kids want to watch something, and you get kicked off the family TV, right? So now you go into your computer, you launch the Windows 10 version, and guess what? You're not starting over. You're resuming where you left off on Xbox One.
So it's cross-buy,
That's what
cross-play.
this is. That's what this is. So for that guy to complain about it, it shows that he's an idiot and he has no clue what this is. This is not, it's just retarded. This is awesome. This is going to be the thing that Sony fanboys are going to be crying about. Well, no, they're not going to cry about it. They're going to be like, well, that's just stupid. Who needs that? Until 10 years from now, when Sony says, hey, look at this new feature we have called crossplay.
They have crossplay. Sony already has crossplay. They have crossplay and crossbuy. It's between their handhelds and their consoles, but they have it, so they know what it is.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
not on a PC.
Well,
though.
yeah. Between two
Games,
platforms.
games translate very differently to the what is it, the Vita.
Yeah, Vita. Sorry.
It's that's a lot different. But so that's what this is, though. This is expanding your ability to play this game regardless of whether you're on the PC or on the Xbox One. I think this is awesome.
Oh, for sure.
This is now whether I'll play it on my PC, I probably not. But I know that there are people out there that are gonna be like, this is awesome.
Mhm.
And if they can buy the game and play it on PC and then maybe later get an Xbox, boom. I don't know if it cross-play the other way. That's a good question. Is it cross-play if you pre-order it on PC? Do you get the Xbox copy?
I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't aware that it was cross play. I understood it was
is cross-play.
buy.
It is. It's cross-play.
Pretty cool.
Because that's what I was listening to. I think it was This Week in Xbox.
Okay.
I think Major Nelson was talking to Aaron Greenberg. I believe that's where I saw it or heard it, and that's what they were talking about. I'm pretty sure it was on This Week in Xbox, which you can watch on your Xbox, or probably from news.xbox.com. I believe it was the current This Week in Xbox where they talked about that.
All right.
So, or it was on one of the other podcasts that I listened to that the guys had, but I thought it was Aaron Greenberg and Major Nelson discussing it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You can pick up on your computer where you left on your Xbox. That's freaking amazing.
Yeah, I've always had this prediction, and it's one thing, and it's not to knock Xbox. Don't take this as a bad thing. And I've talked to people at work about it, and I don't remember if I've talked to it about it on the show. Is Xbox as we know it, this generation, I have a feeling will not be anything like this next generation. Xbox itself will be a service that you can either play on a PC or on a console. So all games will be cross-play, all games will be cross-buy. Like if I want the newest games on Xbox next generation, I don't have to own an Xbox 2. I can play them on my PC. I can join parties on my PC. I can do everything Xbox I can do on my Xbox on my PC. If I want to have a device to hook up to a TV, okay, yes, I know you can hook PCs to TVs, but hear me out here. If you want a console or a box to plug into a TV, like Steam machine, what you will then buy is an Xbox. So the Xbox service will be exclusive to a console produced by Xbox, but yet everything else will be available, if you have a PC that can do it or whatnot. That's where I think that Xbox will eventually go. Because if you go and you look at the market today, it sounds like, we're doing such a bad job at selling consoles that maybe they'll just get rid of the console in general and do that. But I think that's where Xbox is heading. And a game like this and crossplay and stuff like this kind of just shows to me that, hey, that might be real. It might be and to me, I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool. I'm one of the few people that have their Xbox hooked up through their computer system anyway, so it would just be nice to have it all in there as one. So, but yeah, game looks awesome though. You guys getting it? Want a break?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, getting it.
It's a must buy, I think.
Yeah, the way I was reading it is if you do buy it, you get a code. It looks like you get a code to put into the Xbox store to download the Windows version of it. So, yeah, just keep that in mind for anybody that's getting it.
I already pre-ordered it.
Oh.
And I don't know if you guys saw the IGN video. I posted I don't think it was an IGN video. I don't remember where I pulled it from, but there was some new kind of gameplay trailer stuff shown this past week. Oh my goodness. This game looks fantastic.
Yeah, looks good.
Dude, when you can look at a computer generated character and know who the actor is, it's like wow.
It looks just like him.
Yeah, there was two guys. One was from the Game of Thrones, and the other guy, I think he was from The Wire. Or I have seen him in several different shows.
It's in the following. Oh, are you talking about the main character?
I don't know.
He
No,
played-
not the main guy.
Oh, okay.
But I think there are two other characters in there. But it's just like I recognize both of those. I'm like, oh, those are real actors. I mean, I know, it's just like they looked like they're real themselves, kind of like the Kevin Spacey in the last Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Oh
What
yeah.
was that?
Mhm.
I mean, it looked just like him. I mean, it looks so good. But the gameplay, the visuals, everything I thought just looked so amazing. I was really impressed with the latest release that they showed, and I'm really excited for this game to come out. So it's like I got this renewed excitement for it.
Yeah, it does look good. It's crazy how awesome those graphics look, and it runs on a console. Maybe, just maybe, the XCOM guys should get a hold of those guys and say, "Hey, what do we need to do?" But yeah, very cool.
Well, if XCOM was delayed like another 3 years, maybe it would have run fine.
Good point. You do.
Good
You know
point.
what? That's a
That's-
good point, Rob.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
released on time. Shame on them.
Yeah, very good.
That was what was there? Who was it? Firaxis. I think that's the developer for XCOM 2. Yeah, that was their problem.
Yeah.
They released it on time. So Rob, are you going to end up? Do you think you're getting Quantum Break or not?
I'm pretty sure I am. I've
Yeah.
been toying with the idea of pre-ordering it just so I could get
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake, the 2 Alan Wakes, and the Windows one. Because the Windows one is that just for pre-order, or was that for everybody? And just Alan Wake was for the pre-order.
I think right now they're
What
saying
was that?
pre-order.
I think they're saying
Okay.
pre-order as well.
Right, but I would say that you'll probably get the Windows 10 version free regardless when you do buy it,
Right.
because they're saying this is that cross-play, cross-buy, whatever they're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, I don't think they're going to do it, but they want to push orders, so they're going to say it, so when you pre-order it, you get this, but what they're not saying is, well, you're going to get it anyways when you buy it, but you probably won't get the Alan Wake stuff unless you pre-order. That would be my guess, but
Yeah.
you never know.
So, okay, so here I can rattle this off real fast. It says Alan Wake included with Quantum Break for Xbox One, American Nightmare available with pre-order. And then the pre-order of Quantum Break for Xbox One to receive Windows 10 version at no additional cost. That one there goes into a little bit more. It says, Entertainment will launch Quantum Break on Windows 10 with Xbox One version on April 5th. Anyone who pre-orders the Xbox One digital version of Quantum Break through the Xbox Store purchases an Xbox One digital token at participating retailers or pre-orders an Xbox One Special Edition Quantum Break bundle will receive Windows 10 version of the game downloadable at the Windows Store via redemption code. So it sounds like you can do it 3 different ways, but it is pretty much what it's stating there, pre-order. So
Right. So, and again, that's they're not gonna talk about stuff afterwards. Everybody they want you to pre-order it.
free
So
Quantum,
it could be available afterwards. We just don't know.
yeah, free Quantum Break Windows 10 game offer valid with pre-order of digital copy of Quantum Break for Xbox One by April 4th. So
Okay. Well, yeah,
yeah, there you go.
but yeah, I don't have to worry about it because I pre-ordered it. So
Does look really good. All right.
it does.
Kind of a round, I know this is a round table, not much, that's more of news stuff there. This one here was something that came out, but then I want to ask so we can discuss about it a little bit. Titanfall 2. You guys heard of Titanfall? Fantastic
Sure.
game. I got into it late.
Never played it.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh. Well, what is it? What is it when you prestige like 10 times? What's it called in that one? I can't remember.
Generation.
Yeah.
Gen 10.
Yeah, you were a Gen 10, so
I'm
you
a Gen
definitely
10
didn't
level
play it.
50. Yes, I'm as high as you can go.
Yeah, you
I
maxed it
have
out.
all the achievements in that game. Yeah, that I think that's the scary part for me is with Titanfall 2. Like, oh man, I'm gonna feel the need to 100% that game just because I did the first one.
Well, yeah, so what brings me to this is like I got into Titanfall late and I regret it. The game is awesome, and of course when I got into it's when they obviously put in so much work and so much content into it, because when it first launched it was a little light on the content based on what I've heard.
It was a great game, but yes, when you got into it, it was so much better.
Right.
There was so much more added to it and stuff that they did after release that it was a completely different game.
Right.
A year later, it was a completely different game. So
Right.
yeah, but it was yeah. You missed out on some stuff, but you got the best version of it,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I agree. I loved it. And I'm definitely getting Titanfall 2 day one. Like that's
Oh.
no questions
Yeah.
asked. But the thing is here is the news story was now when it was content light, people were kind of knocking it. So it didn't have a single player campaign. You know, boo, it didn't have a single player, single player, it's going to fail.
It did have a campaign.
No, well, hold on. It didn't have a single player. It did not have a single player story campaign. It's based.
It did have a campaign.
Okay. Well,
I'm playing the respawn line here. I'm with you, Bron. I agree.
Oh, okay.
I'm giving you the company line that they had one.
okay. Well,
Not a traditional campaign.
not a
like we're
traditional
used to.
campaign, but okay. No, so
Right.
now, obviously, Titanfall 2's been in development for quite some time. We've had some recent games come out, Star Wars, Siege, that do not have campaigns. Right? They do not.
Siege does have a campaign.
Well, in that case,
It's called what do they call it? There's those 11 the situations.
the situation. Okay, well then in that case, Star Wars has a campaign because you and your buddy can go through these little scenarios if you want.
It is interesting because it's everything's changing.
Right.
This whole idea of what is a game? It used to be, a single player campaign, and then it was like, oh well, now you add your buddy can join you, and then you added this online thing, and now we're doing this multiplayer competitive, and then we've got these cooperative multiplayer stuff, and now we're getting games that are there it's a mix of all that, and
Right.
it's weird. So yeah, when Titanfall came out, their quote campaign was you were playing online against other people,
Right.
but you would get like this little story part,
Right.
cutscene story before you went in and played, which was the same thing you did in the multiplayer.
Right.
You just didn't get the cutscene.
Yeah.
So
Well, the news thing here is that Titanfall 2 will have what I guess would be considered a traditional campaign. And
sweet.
well, okay. Good. I'm glad you said that because I want to ask you the question, yes or no question real quick.
Okay.
Does it need one?
Yes.
It does. Okay. So you
no,
would
it-
not
no, it
buy
does-
Titanfall?
no, it doesn't.
Okay. Okay.
No, it does not. Let me rephrase that.
Okay.
No, it does not need it. Yes, I want it.
Okay.
But it does
Hey,
not need it.
that's a reason. I mean, I respect that answer. Does it need it? No. Would you like it? Yes. And you know what? I would kind of answer that way too. I guess that would be a good answer in the way I would put it too. But let me ask you this: what would you rate on a scale 1 to 10 Titanfall?
10, absolutely.
You'd give it a 10. I would be.
I could boot that thing up right now. I could turn that on and play, and I could sit and play for hours.
Yep.
It would be. I would have so much fun. The game is awesome.
Right.
It is so much fun, and my gosh, if anybody at this point hasn't played Titanfall or doesn't own it, I mean, dude, it was $6 at one point.
Yeah, I got it
I
and
mean,
all the
there's
DLC for like $12.
yeah, I mean, there's no, they practically gave it away. I think at one point, didn't they? I think Titanfall was game of the games with gold free for a month or something. There's no reason excuse people shouldn't have played this.
Right.
If you haven't played it, you need to buy it no matter what it costs because it is going to be some of the best gaming you've ever had.
Right.
It's unbelievably fantastic. It's one of those that you can go back and play again and just like, oh my gosh, it's fun. And if you don't want to do the robots, you don't have to. You can run around and play like Call of Duty if you want.
Right.
Run around on the ground. Deploy your Titan and just let him run around.
Yeah.
Put him in guard mode. Put him in follow mode. It's just an extra someone to watch your back a little bit. There's so many different ways to play. Oh my gosh. Just thinking of all the fun I've had with Titanfall. I am so excited for Titanfall 2. And the idea of a campaign where I can play through different scenarios, I think is just going to be really good. This is the guys that did Modern Warfare and Call of Duty, like the good ones, the good campaigns that we remember and love. These guys to put that into a Titanfall campaign, oh yeah, sign me up.
Yeah. Now, my thing is are we going to get Titanfall 1.5 because they were guilted and forced to throw in a campaign? Because when I heard Titanfall 2 was going to have a campaign, all I could think about was they had to cave because they got so much crap from the first game not having a campaign. And
Oh.
that it's going to the game over. Okay, so the game overall is going to suffer in one way or another.
No,
And
no,
you don't think
No.
so?
absolutely not, dude. This is Respawn. These guys don't give a crap what people say.
Right.
These guys have a history of making fantastic games. They have made all the games prior to Titanfall had a campaign. They were known for their single player campaigns. They were known for their multiplayer. I think with this game, because they did it, the Titanfall 1, it was an exclusive for Microsoft. It was going to be an Xbox One game. You know, Microsoft wanted it to push consoles. I think they had to probably cut the campaign out and did this kind of morphed idea. I think they were pushed there. Okay. I do not expect this game to suffer because they're going to finally put the campaign in now.
I just
And
think
they're going multi-platform. Everybody gets it this time around. These guys have a very good history of amazing games. So I do not feel it will suffer.
And what I mean by suffer is like what I mean by that is take Battlefield 4 for instance, you know, or Battlefield. It is the multiplayer is awesome. You know, I expect Titanfall's multiplayer to be as good, if not better, than Titanfall 1. That's what I'm saying here. The campaign would be the part that would be, yeah, you know, okay, you put in a campaign, thanks a lot, you know. Your game, which would have been a 9.5, is now an 8 because your campaign sucks. You know, that's what I mean by suffering, because and I don't buy games based off of scores. I don't.
Right.
Some people do. Some people's raises and everything like that are all tied to their Metacritic score. But that is what I mean by they're going to suffer because, you know, yes, they may pull out a 10. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they can't or they may. Hopefully they do. I'm a fan. Let's make sure that I'm clear on that. But I think they're guilted into it. I'd rather, and hopefully they're spending all their time into the part of the game where most of the people enjoyed, if not all, because that's all there was. And you know, to me, it's just like, you know, okay, here's your campaign for the people that need a campaign to buy the game.
I mean, do you really think they were guilted into it?
Absolutely.
But see, I look at it a complete opposite way. Love their first game, they would have loved to have had one. They didn't have the time because of the Xbox One releasing. They wanted to get their game out within that first year. Microsoft wanted it out right away, and I think they cut that. I think that's the way I view it. That they would have wanted to have that there,
Right.
because they've always had them with Call of Duty.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't know the answer to that. But
So
based on what I read or what I see, I feel like they're guilted or forced into that. Or my second question on this, every multiplayer game, right? Every game that has a multiplayer component requires a single player game, correct? Would you agree with that? Because that's
No.
what I feel that the gaming industry says. Oh, you have this multiplayer game. Well, where's the single player? Do you have
I
to
think people
have a
just
single
need
player?
to make the game they want to make.
Oh
See,
no,
I
that's
think
true.
Call
That's
of
what
Duty
I say.
should. Call of Duty doesn't even need a campaign at this point.
No,
It is an online game. That's what it is.
Right.
Battlefield should have never went
Never,
with a campaign.
ever.
It should have stayed. It was a battle. It was a multiplayer game. To
Bad
begin
Company
Ti-
was okay to have a
Titanfall-
single player.
with. Titanfall was an awesome game. I would love to have a campaign. It doesn't require it. I'm going to buy the game no matter what because I loved it so
Right.
much.
Mhm.
I think things like what's coming up that we're going to want to. Well, think of Hitman Absolution. Didn't really have that didn't have a multiplayer component. There's games that just they're not every game fits every bucket.
Exactly.
Fallout is a single player RPG experience. It doesn't have to fit the buckets. That's what I think. That all comes from the people with the money, the people that aren't gamers, the financiers, the banks. They're the ones that you got to have this, this, and this. You have to have all these components in there, otherwise we don't fund you. So, it's stupid. They just need to let the people make the game that they want to make, and guess what? The games probably be great, and they'll probably do better and make more money if the banks would just freaking let these guys do their job.
Right, and that's based on what you're saying there is I think why Titanfall 2 has a campaign. Is because the people saying, "Oh, you need to have this, this, and this," and I really find it weird, and I don't agree with it. I don't think every game has to have a single player, and it's really funny because every single player game doesn't have to have a multiplayer.
Right.
That's the part, and you can't no person, and I don't know if the people pushing out the money is like, well, we got to get this type of score, from this company or whatever. Just to let you know, you can't get dinged points on a game because it doesn't have multiplayer or it doesn't have single player. They can only rate you on a game based on what is contained in the game. I mean, it's not like they can say, "Oh, it doesn't have a single player." Well, the game doesn't have because it wasn't made with a single player. So, but that was my thing. Is like, do multiplayer games need a single player? And based on what you're saying, is like, no, just let them make the game they want. I think they're forced into having one. And then games that are single player, do they have to have multiplayer? No, absolutely not. Yarny doesn't have a multiplayer. Where's Yarny's multiplayer? Where can I take my yarn, wrap it around another Yarny's neck, and hang him from a tree to kill him? It's just like
I'm going to
happen.
Metacritic, and I'm gonna ding it because there's no multiplayer.
That would be hilarious.
Yarny sucks. There's no multiplayer.
Right there, do that. It's like, well, you guys dinged Titanfall because it didn't have a campaign, so I'm dinging Yarny for not having multiplayer. That's funny, but
come on, Rob, you got to have some opinion on this.
Yeah, it's personally, I enjoy single player campaigns, and one of the reasons why I didn't play Titanfall as much was just because it didn't have it. I don't have the time to meet up with people, at least at the moment, and play online all the time. So for me, the single player stuff's pretty important, and I would love to have the single player in Titanfall 2 as it releases this winter.
yeah. Well,
Did you guys see that thing I
congratulations, you're
posted?
getting it. Hopefully, it's decent.
Yeah.
Bruns is being a negative Nancy.
Yeah.
No.
Did you guys see the thing about McFarlane Toys?
No.
No.
I posted it in the show notes.
Okay.
So McFarlane Toys inadvertently leaked the release of Titanfall 2 as being the winter of winter 2016.
Hmm.
And they said that their toy action figures will be released in conjunction with the highly anticipated launch of Titanfall 2. And their stuff is releasing in winter of 2016.
Oh, does that
Well,
mean?
And
there was a guy from what was he? Someone from Respawn
Oh yeah,
did an interview with Forbes, and he said, "Oh yeah, when the game comes out this winter."
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
he said a lot of things that was like that's where the campaign came up. He said, "Oh, we will have a campaign. We're releasing this holiday season." There were some other things. It was so bizarre that first of all, it's like, why are you telling this to Forbes?
Yeah,
It's not even like the PR guy or the community manager that, this type of stuff would normally be done at like E3 or at least go to an IGN, if you will. And that's where, or Game Informer and release the info to them, not to Forbes. It made no sense.
right.
So
And
maybe there
he's
is no campaign. Maybe there isn't. Maybe this conversation is all for naught. And this guy had no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And they're drumming up all this publicity for the game, and it's going to come out, and there's going to be no campaign.
this guy's lucky. This guy's lucky that that PR people aren't snipers, or else he would be dead because
Yeah.
he basically was like spilling everything out, and it's just like, what do you do? Yeah, what are you doing? Like, how do you a publicist? That's what I was thinking. Lucky his publicist or whoever was with him, if he had anybody with him, what did have like a little red dot right on his
There was
forehead.
somebody on the other side of that glass just pounding on it, screaming, "Shut up! No!
Turn off the radio! Turn off the radio!
Got it!"
Yeah, get out
Oh,
there just
man.
like beating him. Beating him. So that's crazy. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I know we basically kind of agree on pretty much all of it. I'm not being negative. I'm just kind of
You are.
I'm playing that other side.
They were forced into it, man. The game's gonna suck.
No, okay. That I wasn't playing on the other side. I do believe they were forced to put a campaign in it, but it's also forced based on 2 to 3 years ago as well. That's why I want to say recently games are coming out. This started development so far back, where that was like
They've
a huge
been
thing.
working on it for 3 years.
Well, that's what I
right?
mean. That's what I mean.
At least 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and these guys have the pedigree and to churn out a game every 2 years.
All right.
They were doing it every 2 years with campaign and multiplayer, and they were making advances on them. And so I think we're going to be good. But this actually, you think about it. So this actually leads us into the last thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
So we talked about Quantum Break, how we're getting to the point where we can play a game on our Xbox, pause it, and go and play it on our PC where we left off. We've got this really weird, what is a game? Is it a single player? Is it a multiplayer? Does it have to have both? Does it have to have online competitive? Does it have to have online co-op? Does it have to have does it have to have couch co-op?
Yeah. Does it have to be 12 hours? Does it have to be 4 hours? Does it have to be 70 hours?
How long does the campaign need
Yeah.
to be? Does it have to be free to play or pay to win? Or is $60 okay? Or, there's a lot has changed in the world of video games. And another thing that's changed is the EULAs, which is the end user license agreement. I don't think. Raise your hand here if you've ever read a EULA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every time before I click OK, I agree.
Okay,
don't
so
know what you're accepting.
so I know that all of our listeners, not a single one of them, because I can tell, I'm just that knowledgeable. Not one of them have raised their hands, and that's because it's all a bunch of legalese, and you have to accept it to play the game anyways. Even if you paid the $60, you have to. When you buy that at the store, you just accepted the EULA. And a lot of times when you launch these games nowadays, you have to accept it to even play some of this stuff. And what's interesting is my thought was, are we even buying games anymore? Because we used to always buy the game, and you would give your money and the store guy would hand you something and you owned it and you could play it. So that Atari 2600 combat cartridge, I could still play it today. Granted, if I had a TV that I could hook up to with the weird little wires in the switch box, but I could still play that game today. That's not the case anymore. We're still paying full price, but a lot of us don't get a physical copy of stuff. And even the last couple of years when we were, and even though a lot of people that get physical copies, so I'm going to use the Division for example. Now this is just an example, okay? You can put any game in here. So people are going to go buy a physical copy of the Division. I'm going to buy a digital copy. It doesn't matter which way you go. That game is online only. And at some point in the future, those servers will get shut down. And that game will no longer be playable, even to those who bought a physical copy. So are we even buying games anymore? Because most games now do require an online connection. They do connect to a server. And if in the world of like EA and their sports games, they shut those servers down typically after a couple of years because they put out a new one every year. So you're really, to me, I almost feel like we are renting the ability to play the game until they turn it off.
Right.
Because we're not buying it. Buying means you own it. And if you go back to the EULAs, even back in the early days, if you read the EULA, you were not buying the game, you were purchasing a license.
And that's the way it still is.
And right. So, but that licensing is kind of changed because now you can't assume 10 years from now you're going to be able to play that game that you bought.
Right.
Whereas I could still play that game on the 2600. I could still play it today if I wanted.
Yeah. And
I own the cartridge. I own the console. I plug it in my TV. I pop the game in and it works.
Yeah.
The Division will not work 10 years from now. Destiny will not work 10 years from now.
Right.
You know, so what are your guys' thoughts on that and where it's going and as it continues to change?
Yeah, the one thing is, like, even today, even like Windows, all software and everything is you're purchasing a license to use a product that you do not own. I mean, that's what it is. Now when it comes to games and stuff, and I believe this was the whole argument with GameStop. You know, when you're selling back your game back to GameStop, the reason, you know, you're selling the game back and relinquishing the license back to play that game and so on and so forth. But to go back to your thing, there's actually a group. There's either a group or a committee or something going on. I'll have to see if I can find it. Rob might know, or you might know. I'm not sure. They're trying to work and get through these things where they can run, once the company shuts off the servers and saying they're shutting down the game, that then people can spin up private servers to keep the game going. So 10, 15, 20 years down the road, if somebody wants to play the Division or wants to play Destiny, they can spin up one of these servers. But to me, yeah, it's you're basically saying, in my mind, gaming today is, I'm paying $60 to play an online game that I know I'm probably going to be able to play between 2 to 3 years, if there isn't a new one next year, before the company shuts off the servers and I can't play it again. You know, is that worth my $60? You know, am I going to get my $60 worth? So that's the way I do see it. I do see it as a multi-year rental, if you want to put it in the way you kind of asked that. That's how I do see it. Rob?
And it's almost like it's going into, instead of I have this thing that I own and it's mine, it's more of like an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, like last weekend, I went with my son and we saw the Star Wars movie in 3D. and I paid a certain amount of money, which is the equivalent, I think, of buying a game for us to see this movie. And it was an experience. I paid a certain amount of money for that amount of time, the 2.5, 3 hours, or whatever it was, and I'm done. Games are kind of going that way as well, where you're paying, you know, 10, 20, 50, $60, sometimes more, and you're paying for an experience which at some point might go away. Just like how you pay a monthly charge to Netflix and you don't own any of that. You're just paying Netflix, you know, $8, $10 a month, whatever it is. You're paying them for that experience to watch anything in their library. And again, you stop paying for it, it goes away. They decide they have contract issues with a certain company. I think it was something with Viacom or whoever it was. All that stuff goes away, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I think that the change has already happened for us, and it's just something we need to come to terms with. Get your gaming in while you can
Yeah. Yeah.
before it goes away.
Yeah. I
Because
tried.
at some point, Xbox One is going to go away. I mean, it's going to be retired, 10, 15 years from now. Are we going to be able to play our digital copy of Quantum Break? I don't think so. Do we care? Would we want to? I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Oh, it's just, I was just agreeing with you as far as it being an experience. I mean, I do know where it's like, when we buy something, the what is ownership, perception of ownership, I guess I should say. If I buy this, I own this. Um, but yeah, what it is you own a license to it. Now, whatever the EULA, like Mark was saying, go read those things. They're fantastic. It's if you're ever too tired and you need a, you want to fall asleep, bust out a EULA. No, it'll help you. But you are owning those licenses, and their thing is like it's a lot of them somewhere in there. It's like you're purchasing a license to use this software that we can shut off or take away at any point in time. Like if Microsoft wanted to, they could say, okay, we're taking Windows 10. Everybody owns a license of Windows 10. I'm sorry, it's going away. We'll give you 10 days to move to Linux or Apple or OS X if they wanted to.
Android.
Yeah. So, but no, we don't actually own the games anymore. We just own
No.
basically the ability to play them. So,
And
but
it's not necessarily a bad thing either.
no. It's
just different.
It's a good question. It's a good one. And I like your comment of Xbox One 10, 15 years. When it's said that the next Xbox will probably be coming in to be announced in like 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 year cycles now. Be prepared. Quicker cycles for consoles. So,
Yes.
was that all? Is that everything?
That's all, I think.
Mark, anything else?
Oh, no, that's it.
All right. Cool.
Just wanted to hear what you guys' thoughts were, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a good question. You should put that out in the Facebook group. See what people have to say. Community time. We have an empty community section this week. It's been the first time in a while, so make sure to get
Nobody
those.
loves us.
Yeah, make sure to get those questions and comments in the form of voicemails, emails, Twitter messages, Xbox Live messages, or the Facebook group. ThisXboxLife.com. You can send us a voicemail or a message through there. You can email directly contact@ThisXboxLife. Twitter.com/ThisXboxLife. And Facebook.com. Fudge. Was it /groups? slash
Yes.
this Xbox Life. Yeah, I always forget the groups in
Yes.
that one. So, but yeah, those are all the ways. We don't have any messages or anything this week, but we do have some games coming out. So Rob gets earnest paycheck this week.
All right. All right. So for Xbox One, there's a couple of things coming out. We have Tron Runner. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
It's one of those endless run games, Tron style on your Xbox One. Pixel Piracy is out as well. This is a game that came out on PC, about 2 years ago? Like one of those little indie games. Looks interesting. We have Mitsurugi Hikai.
Camera Hikai.
I butchered
guess.
that one.
Yeah, I didn't know what
I
it was
butchered
either.
that
I had
one,
to
but it
spell
was
it
close
twice.
enough. MKH. Look for that. Layers of Fear, and then also, this is the one that Brun, you're waiting for, I'm sure. Rocket League.
Yes.
Then for Xbox 360, we have Zilch.
Yep. Nothing.
Games with Gold is changing up in a couple of days here. Make sure to grab zeros
Oh,
if you can.
no.
Zaharos.
Don't waste your time.
Forget it.
Okay,
Oh, that's
it's
horrible.
free. You got one more day.
It's horrible.
Yes. Hand of Fate is still going on for the entire month of February. And then Styx Master of Shadows starts on the 16th. For Xbox 360, make sure to grab Sacred Citadel through the 15th. And Gears of War 2 starts on February 16th. And also, as always, if you make any purchases on Amazon, make sure to use our affiliate link. You can find that at thisxboxlife.com and click the Amazon link on there. It'll take you to Amazon, search for whatever you want, get whatever you want. Make sure to visit that link each and every time that you make your purchase on Amazon. It really helps us out. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but you can support the show by using that link. And also, if you're on iTunes, please do us a favor and give us a 5-star review on there. It helps us get noticed and become a featured podcast in the iTunes store.
Maybe we should say if you'd like to purchase, if you go out there and purchase your license to play games, please go to Amazon.
Sure.
So, be with the topic. Cool.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that our show for the week?
Is
That's
it?
it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. All right,
Oh,
cool.
for sure.
We will be back next week, and ready to go. Hopefully everybody gets a chance to play some Rocket League. I said I was going to do some Diablo. I think Brentley put in he would play. Wing said he would play. So
Gunny said he'd play too.
Gunny, okay, so there's 4. I think he can have 4 or 5.
I think it's 4.
I think it's 4 as well. If anybody else wants to play or whatever, just let me know. Send me a message or something, and we'll get you in there somehow. If that turns out to be kind of a bust and people aren't there, maybe we might have to do Titanfall, or the week after we'll do Titanfall, Mark.
Yeah.
So and so Mark, you asked a good question. Why don't we have any rewards? We haven't made them yet. We have to think about what we would want to do for people to give points. Obviously it's not like giveaways, like those type of rewards. They are like, silly rewards, like, pick a game Brun has to play, or, do this or that. But then also I want to see or talk with you maybe in a couple weeks if we want to start up, Friday Night Life or Saturday Night Life back up. So
Yeah, we could do that.
play with the community. So, but all right, that's all we got. Thanks for the new followers. For anybody who popped in, we had a couple new people pop in, and we will be back next week. So I'm Brun BJ Swick 33.
It's Rob, also known as Presar. Thanks for listening, everybody.
And this is Mark, aka Wingman709, taking off.